Hello YouTube, Dave here again. Today I am going to be going through the solo adventure that is included in the Pathfinder 1st Edition Beginner's Box. Something that I had opened a week ago, at least in terms of when the two different videos are going to be uploaded from each other. And I thought it'd be kind of fun to spend a week's worth of videos just exploring this set a little bit. So with this one, I'm actually going to be doing a full playthrough of the solo adventure. When I did my Starfinder solo adventure example video, I didn't want to spoil anything in that because that was like a brand new thing. In fact, I was reviewing it like when it came out. So I thought it would make more sense to just sort of show how it was done, but not go all the way through it. With this one, this is from a previous edition, so I'm going to go through and I'm just going to play through the entirety of this adventure. I think it'll be kind of fun. I didn't read through the entire thing or anything like that, but I did go to check and just see which dice will be needed, which is right on the inside cover. In fact, let's just go ahead and look at that right now. Whoop. I also did just look to see what creature stats they included, so I could have some visual aids and stuff ready. But it says here, the adventure, first of all, is called Skeleton King's Crypt, and it says you need a D4, a D8, and a D20, which is what I have here, if you can pick up the... Alright. There's the D4. So I've got all of those. I also have a miniature to represent my character. In these solo adventures, your character is sort of like defined already. So this isn't like the Call of Cthulhu one where the solo adventure takes you through character creation. This just teaches you sort of the basics of the game. So I'm going to put my representative miniature here. And yeah, that's basically it. I have just dry erase marker, and I did write down my character's prevalent stats. So attack bonus +5, damage of a D8 +2, armor class 16, and 12 hit points, which is all that I should need to know for this. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get right into the Skeleton King's Crypt. Alright, so the opening thing just here says here, are you ready for adventure? The following pages contain a short quest that you can play by yourself. You don't need to know the rules of the game just yet. This adventure will teach you some of them. If you want to skip this quest and head straight to making a character, which will be the subject of the next video I do, go to page 10, otherwise read on. To play, you will need a piece of scratch paper, a pencil, and the dice that came in the beginner box. I'm using some of my own dice because I'm keeping the other stuff sealed. To begin, read entry 1 and do whatever it tells you. Most entries will tell you to go to another entry or give you several choices. Read only the entries that you are told to read. Your choices will determine whether the character you play lives or dies. So choose wisely. Alright, so to begin, you are a brave warrior hailing from the town of Sandpoint in a land called Verisia, on the coast of the great steaming sea. Life in the small town is simple, but also hard. The surrounding wilderness is full of goblins and other monsters. Lately, these monsters have been growing bolder, carrying off children and livestock from outlying farmsteads. In desperation, the terrified townsfolk have turned to you for protection. The mayor, a kindly woman named Kendra Deverin, has promised you a reward of 100 gold pieces if you clear out a nearby dungeon where some of these creatures are said to live. It's a dangerous job, but you know in your heart that you're up to the challenge. You gather up your gear, a sturdy suit of chainmail armor, your father's old longsword, and head off into the woods. Following the crude map the mayor gave you, after several hours of walking, you arrive at a desolate hillside. Just ahead is the darkened entrance to a tunnel. This must be the dungeon. So read on to the next page. So it says here, you gather up your courage and head inside. Turn to entry number 9. Okay. So entry 9, so you find yourself in a dark, dusty corridor heading down into the earth. As you walk, the light from the entrance quickly fades to no more than a faint glow. You are forced to use a torch to light your way. In its flickering light, you can see that the corridor opens into a room just ahead. You hear a quiet growl and draw your sword from its sheath. Suddenly your eyes detect movement. A pile of rags in the corner leaps up, revealing itself to be a vile goblin with warty green skin and a head shaped like a watermelon. Its filthy clothes are covered in bloodstains, and one hand still holds the roasted leg of a stolen sheep. In its other hand is a wicked-looking short sword. It snarls at you and charges. So you are now in combat. You know that the goblin is a nasty, evil creature, and you must kill it before you can continue. Both you and the goblin take turns attacking one another. Attacks are made using a 20-sided die and adding your attack bonus. If the total is equal to or greater than the armor class, you hit and you deal your damage to its armor class or to its hit points. To beat the goblin, you must reduce its hit points to 0 or fewer. The goblin will make similar attacks rolling against your AC, dealing damage to your hit points. If the goblin reduces your hit points to 0 or fewer, you die. Record your hit points on the scrap paper. So I'm just going to write down the goblin's information here. So I'm just going to write down goblin. Attack is +1. Damage is 1d4. AC is 13. And hit points are 6. Right, combat occurs in rounds. In each round, both you and the goblin get to make one attack. You go first in each round. Roll a d20. Okay, so I go first, and then the goblin goes. So we'll play that out. So we've got the character here. And we're just going to put ourselves a nice little goblin. And we're just going to go ahead and see what happens. This could be a really short playthrough, or, hopefully we'll be able to get through to the end. So my character attacks first. So I have an attack bonus of +5 against armor class of 13, so I need to roll an 8 or greater. Actually, you know what? For the purpose of making this video a little bit easier, I'm going to switch the dice here, so I will be right back. Alright, so I actually decided to go with a different set of dice here. This way I've got like the giant d20. Whoops! Should make it a little bit easier to see everything. So let's just go right ahead. So I get +5, so like I said, I need to roll an 8 or higher. And that is a 16 on the die. So that hits the goblin, and I do 1d8 +2. So I'm only doing 1 point of damage there. +2, so I've done 3 damage to the goblin. So the goblin gets slashed with my longsword. Unfortunately, it manages to just get off to the side enough that it wasn't a fatal blow. And then the goblin is going to retaliate with a +1 bonus to hit against my armor class of 16, so I need a 15 or greater to hit here. So that is only a 13. +1 is 14, so that will actually miss. So that's the end of that round. Go to the second round, and my character is going to come around, hopefully with a killing blow. That was a 6, so that misses. The goblin again dodges, swings back at me, and this is going to be one of those first level fights, I think. So third round, my attack. Whoops. There we go. So that is a 17 on the die. +5 is 22. That definitely hits. And I don't do a ton of damage, but it only had 3 left, and that was 4 damage, so the goblin has been defeated. So we'll just move that off of there, and then we will consult the book and see what to do next. Alright, so it says, if you are reduced to 0 or fewer hit points, you have been defeated. Turn to entry 17, we're not at that one, so if the goblin is reduced to 0 or fewer hit points, you have defeated the goblin. Turn to entry 13. So we're going to do that now. So 13 says, with a final desperate lunge, you slide past the goblin's guard and send your blade plunging into its chest. The goblin snarls one last time in pain and frustration, then its bulbous eyes close and it slumps to the ground dead. Taking a look through the filthy pouch on its belt, you find 7 gold pieces and a glass vial filled with red liquid. Written on the cap is the word heal. This must be a potion of healing. Any damage the goblin caused you remains. Make sure to note your current hit points so it never hit us. You can drink the potion at any time during this adventure to regain 8 hit points. Okay, that's good to know, actually. So I'm just going to write down potion of healing. Alright, I'm just going to put potion plus 8 HP for shorthand. So that's pretty cool. If you choose to use it during combat, however, you must drink it instead of taking an attack, which makes sense. which means the monster will get to attack you twice in a row. So right potion. Oh, I just did that. Looking around, you see that the rest of the chamber is empty, but there are 2 corridors leaving this room that lead deeper into the dungeon. So the east corridor is full of cobwebs and looks like it has not been used in a long time. If you go east, turn to entry 18. The west corridor smells of hay and mold, but is clear of webs. If you go west, turn to entry 4. You know what, let's go to the east. So I'm just going to mark in some doors here. So we are going to go to the east. I'm hoping I didn't orient the map in the wrong way. Since that one is full of cobwebs, so that is entry number 18. Alright, using your torch to burn away the webs, you carefully make your way down the eastern corridor. After about 30 feet, I'm not going to draw that to scale, the corridor turns to the south and then proceeds another 20 feet before opening into a large chamber. Well, again, I'm not going to worry too much about that. We'll just go this, then that, then that. And we'll just do that. Like I said, hopefully I didn't put the map too much in the wrong direction. So if this is your first time here, turn to entry 12. If you explored this way before, turn to entry 8. So we are going to turn to entry number 12. So this large corridor, this large chamber is mostly empty, except for the cobwebs hanging from the ceiling. Across the room, you can see a gruesome stone structure of a devil perched above an open doorway. Scattered across the floor are a few gold coins. Through the doorway, you can see a flight of stairs going deeper into the dungeon. Seeing no monsters in this room, you make your way towards the stairs, stopping to pick up the coins along the way. Halfway through the chamber, your foot catches on a hidden tripwire. Suddenly, a blast of flame shoots out of the stone devil's mouth, coming right towards you. You have encountered a trap, a common danger in dungeons. A trap makes an attack against your character. In this case, the trap shoots a cone of fire at you. The fire fills the entire room and automatically hits you, dealing 6 points of damage. Your only hope is to leap back out of the room and thus take less damage. This attempt is represented by a saving throw. To attempt a saving throw against this trap, roll a d20 and add 2. If your total is equal to or greater than the DC of the trap, you take only half damage. The DC of the trap is 11, so I get +2, so I need to roll a 9 or greater. That's a 5. So my character has taken 6 points of damage. So I only have 6 left. That was half of my character's HP right there. That kind of sucks. Write your new hit point total and then turn to the next page, see what your options are. If the fire reduces your hit points to 0 or fewer, the trap kills you. If you have at least 1 hit point, you survive the trap. Turn to entry 21. Alright, entry 21. The fire burned you a bit, but you managed to survive a bit. You finished collecting the coins, 9 gold pieces in total. All that remains is the scorched statue and the staircase leading down. You've heard that dungeons get more dangerous the deeper you venture. Are you ready to explore the deeper level? If you want to head deeper into the dungeon, turn to entry 10. If you want to go back and check out the other passageway, turn to entry 2. So we're going to do that. Because apparently, like whenever I have like a 50-50 chance in video games and I want to explore first, I end up accidentally choosing progress. So entry 13, so that takes us to, if the west corridor that smells of hay and mold but is clear of webs, go west and turn to entry 4. So we're just going to backtrack a little bit here. So we were there, now we're here. Now we're going through there, because that other door kind of sucked. So, entry number 4, and there's the goblin that we fought. The smell of mold grows stronger with each step down the eastern corridor. After about 50 feet, the corridor ends in a simple wooden door that stands half open, revealing a room beyond. Inside the room is a large cage made up of iron bars. The little typo there, the A just... Huh. Interesting. A couple of letters got left out. Anyway, iron bars with a layer of moldy hay at the bottom. Laying in the hay is, it just says I, but it should be is, a local farm boy from Sandpoint, one of the children who went missing in a recent goblin attack. He looks hungry and is covered with bruises. Across from his cage, a large key dangles from a hook a few feet off the floor, just low enough for the goblin to reach. The boy appears to be sleeping. If you take the key from the hook, turn to entry 11. If you wake the boy up and talk to him, turn to entry 22. If you ignore the boy and leave the room, turn to entry 14. Let's take the key off the hook first and then talk to him. That sounds like a smart idea. You lift the iron key from the hook. It looks like it might fit the lock on the farm boy's cage. You're his only chance to escape this dungeon. Okay. If you wake the boy up and talk to him, turn entry. Okay, so yeah, that worked out fine. So entry 22 says you call out to the boy and his eyes slowly open. Thank the gods, he croaks through cracked and bloodied lips. I was out working the fields when that goblin ambushed me. I think he's going to eat me. Please let me out. I just want to go home. If you use the key to free the boy, turn to entry 6. If you ignore his plea and leave the room, why would I do that? I'm going to go to entry 6. Thank you, the farm boy sobs as you open the door to his cage. I've been trapped here for days. I'm getting out of here, but if you're going to keep going, you should be careful. There's something far more terrible than a goblin deeper in the dungeon. The goblin called it the Skeleton King. Here, take my mace with you. He brushes aside some of the straw on the cell floor and pulls out a weapon that looks like a club with a large metal head. I managed to hide it down the back of my shirt when the goblin captured me. I think you're going to need it against whatever's hiding down there. Good luck. With that, the young boy races out of the dungeon, heading home to his family. Record that you have the mace on the piece of paper, so now I have a long sword and a mace. Cool. And now we can go to 14. I feel like I did the right thing there. I guess I should just draw that in just because. There we go. So, freed the farm boy. Now we're going back to where we were before. So this just takes us back to entry. So 14 says, turning from the room, you head back up the corridor to the chamber with the dead goblin. The only way left to go is east. So we make our way down the corridor. We turn to page 18, or not page 18, entry 18. I gotta stop doing that. So we go into entry. So that just takes us back to the one where we first go through, but we've already gone here before. So we're just going to go back to entry 8, so just so you can sort of see here. So 14 says go to 18. 18 was just using the torch to burn away the webs. And then we go, because this is our second time here, we go to entry number 8. Okay, the floor and ceiling of this room are scarred with burn marks. Geez, I wonder what happened there. But the trap has already been sprung. Yeah, no kidding. The only way to go is forward underneath the devilish sculpture and into the darkness, so read entry number 10. So, I think what we're going to do is we're just going to have some stairs going down there, and then we're just going to draw another square. And we'll just point an arrow there to indicate. We'll just go L1, and then we'll just go B1. So, level 1, basement 1. Sure, why not? Okay. So, number 10. Entry 10. The ancient stone stairs are slick with moisture. At the bottom, you find that they end in a large natural cavern filled with stalactites and stalagmites. You can see shallow pools of water on the floor, and a large crack in the far wall looks like a passageway. As you cross the room, something doesn't seem quite right. You stop to look around the corner. You uncover the mystery. You need to attempt a skill check. Each character in the game has several skills representing the adventurer's training. This check uses perception, which allows you to notice things that are hidden. To attempt the skill check, roll 1d20 and add +4. And it looks like, okay, so 1d20 +4. Please don't roll garbage. I always roll so awful in these videos. Alright, 12, so +4, that gives us 16. If your total perception check is 12 or higher, turn to entry 19, which it is, so that's what we're going to do. Suddenly you realize what's been bothering you and freeze in mid-step. Right where you were about to place your boot, a patch of yellow fungus clings to the stone floor. You've heard stories about such things before. Yellow molds that grow in dark caverns and seem harmless until disturbed, at which point they release millions of poisonous spores that choke and sicken hapless wanderers. You draw back your foot and circle around, careful to give the mold a wide berth. Disaster is averted. You make your way to the crack in the back of the room and find that it is indeed a passageway. From further along it comes flickering light. Okay. And the rattle of dry bones. If you're wounded, this might be a good time to drink your potion of healing, and I think I'm going to do that. Since I took the full 6, so I'm just going to heal myself back up to 12. That's good advice, book. Make your way down the passageway, turn to entry 5. So, our character was here. I'm just going to put the passageway here. And again, this isn't meant to be fully representative of what you would have in this dungeon. It's just to sort of give you an idea of some progression that we are making. So, that is entry number 5. Entry number 5, the passageway ends in a huge chamber and an arched ceiling. Stairs on the far side of the room lead up to a small platform. Atop the platform looms a golden throne decorated with glittering diamonds and rubies. Sitting in the throne is a skeleton dressed in ancient and rusted armor of a king. A weirdly glowing longsword clasped in its bony hands. Suddenly, the skeleton's head turns toward you, and the empty eye sockets fill with red flames. Its jaw opens in a horrible smile as it raises its longsword and points at you. "So," it rasps in a voice like two stones scraping together, "your pitiful town has sent a champion. How kind of them. Since you've clearly slain my goblin servant, it's only fair that you take his place and join me in death." With a grating laugh, the skeleton stands and moves toward you, readying its longsword to attack. If I am attacking the skeleton using your longsword, turn to entry number 20. If you're attacking with another weapon that you found, turn to 15. If you run away from the skeleton, go to entry number 3. You know what? Let's do it. Let's attack with the longsword first and just see what happens. This is probably a horrible idea. So, entry 20, gripping your father's longsword, you advance on the skeleton, ready for battle. Oh, okay. We got the skeleton's information here. I'm actually going to write this stuff down as well. So, skeleton. Skeleton has an attack of +4, damage of 1d8, AC 17, so it's actually tougher than me, and 14 hit points. So yeah, this is going to be a bit of a fight. I probably should have attacked with the mace. So if you were sickened by the yellow mold, which we weren't, you take a -2 penalty to attack rolls. That's fine. We didn't do that. You're in combat each round. Yep. So you and the skeleton, you go first in each round. Roll d20 and add your attack bonus. So your longsword is made for stabbing and cutting through flesh. It's not very effective against the dry bones and armor of the skeleton, so it only deals 1d8 -3 of damage on a hit rather than okay. After each attack, the skeleton attacks as a result skeleton hits for 1d8. Continuing, note that you enter this battle with the same number of points that you left after the goblin fight. So it doesn't actually give me the option to switch the weapon, but you know what? Fortune favors the bold, so we're just gonna attack with my father's longsword. So, let's begin, shall we? So, the initiative goes with myself first, followed by the skeleton. So, I will attack. I get +5 to hit. So, luckily, I still need to roll 12 or better to strike. But that's a 15, so that is a 20 total. Not natural, but just 20 total. Although there's no like crits in this particular solo adventure. So it's a d8 -3. Well, that's 7 damage, so -3 is 4. So the skeleton is down to 10. However, it's going to get a chance to go now, so it attacks. That is 19, so that will hit me, unfortunately, and I'm going to take, only 1 point of damage. That is fortunate. And just so you can see it there. So I'm down to 11 hit points. Nope, my turn again. And another 15. That's great, although now I'm probably going to roll a 1, 2, or 3. Yep, that's a 3. So even though I hit the skeleton, my weapon just doesn't do anything. Like, I basically slash across, but the skeleton turns to the side and the sword just sort of passes through the gaps between his ribs. Skeleton with his sword swings back at me and hits again. This is probably not going to end well. And for 7. So I'm down to 4 hit points. So let's see what happens. Let's be stubborn. Let's continue attacking with the sword. Like I said, it doesn't actually give you the option to continue, so or to switch weapons, so we're not going to do that. Whoop. So that is 17 on the dice, so that hits. For 0 damage again. And then, the Skeleton King, though, misses me because he only rolled a 5. So this knockdown dragout continues, and that is an 18. Please don't roll a 3 again. That is 8, so I deal another 5 damage to it. It only has 5 hit points left, so this is going to come down to the wire. Unfortunately, it hits me again for 5 damage. So that's it. My character has been defeated. Don't really have a very good survival rate with with these things here, do I? If you, so entry 20, just got to get back to where we were. Alright, if you defeat the skeleton, nope. If you are defeated by the skeleton, turn to entry number 17. Alright, you have succumbed to your wounds as the world slowly fades to black. Your last thought is of your friends and family back in town. You regret you were unable to protect them. Although you have died, the people of Sandpoint still need your help. You can start this adventure over by turning to entry 1 and beginning from scratch. Your hit points are fully restored, but everything you found is lost. And everything in the dungeon is reset. You must be discovered and overcome again. Alright, so you know what? I'm actually going to do that. I'm going to go back through this and see how we do. I'm going to do this off camera, and I will come back to the moment of truth where I am fighting the skeleton, this time with the mace, because I am definitely going to get that again. So I will do that, and I will be right back. Alright, so I am back. We've gone through the second run through. This time the luck was a little bit different. So the goblin actually, the first 2 attacks I made against the goblin completely missed, and the goblin hit me twice in a row for max damage each time. So I went from 12 hit points to 4 at the end of that first combat, so I had to drink my potion to put me back up to 12. I did succeed on the saving throw against the trap, however, and I still made my perception check against the yellow mold. So I'm not sickened. I am once again about to confront the skeleton, but this time I'm using the mace that the farm boy gave me. So this one takes me to entry 15, which says, remembering the farm boy's warning, you leave your longsword in its sheath and grab the mace from your pack. It's time to teach this skeleton a lesson. So, in this situation, our attack bonus is actually +6, so we get an extra +1 to hit with the mace. It does a d8 +3, which is the same as what we had before. Or actually, no, sorry, so it's +1 weapon. Holy crap, okay. Yeah, so +1 to hit, +1 to damage. I'm not sickened, so I don't take the -2. So yeah, we're just going to go through and roll the attacks here. So my character begins the combat. Like I said, this creature has, the Skeleton King has 14 hit points, and I have +6. So I need to roll an 8 or higher again, which is not bad. And that is a 2, so we are off to a fantastic start. So the Skeleton King attacking me back also rolled a 2, so I guess we're just swords, or he swings with the sword and I managed to deflect it with my mace. Coming around for the next round to swing with it again, and I miss by 1. Skeleton King rolls a natural 1, so maybe he was, too overconfident, knowing that he already killed me once and, wasn't taking this fight seriously. So let's make him pay. Well, that'll hit. So that is going to be a d8 +3 against 14 hit points. So that's going to be 7. So we take him from 14 down to 7 with 1 attack. So in response, he swings back, and wow, this is interesting. He misses again. So let's go, hopefully to finish it this time. That's another hit. And that is going to be a total of 10 damage. He only had 7 left. So we defeated the skeleton. Turn to entry 23. Alright, by the way, that's what he looked like, which is just a super cool skeleton art. I actually really like that. Alright, so it says, with one last swing of your mighty weapon, the skeleton's bones crack and crumble. Bones and armor fall to the floor like a puppet with its strings cut. As you watch, the ancient corpse begins to crumble to dust and rust, only leaving my God, words are hard. The softly glowing longsword. You have defeated the undead lord of the dungeon. Looking around the Skeleton King's throne room, you decide to take its magical longsword and you pry 4 diamonds and 6 rupees from the throne before leaving the dungeon for good and heading back to town, because of course you do. Townsfolk cheer as you stride through the streets with the skeleton's glowing longsword slung at your hip. From the front steps of the town hall, you regale the mayor and the townspeople with a tale of your victory, after which she presents you with the reward, a bulging sack containing 100 gold pieces. More money than you've seen in your entire life. What's more, a local merchant who's heard your story offers to buy the diamonds for 100 gold pieces each, and the rubies for 50 gold pieces each. You also find out that the magical longsword is a +1 longsword, which gives you a +1 to attack and damage rolls. With the gold from the mayor's reward and selling your gems, you have more than enough money to buy better armor and perhaps even a magic potion or 2. Already you're starting to think that maybe the life of a heroic adventurer might hold a lot of promise. So we have completed the your first role-playing game adventure and are ready to make your own character. And this just goes through what a RPG is, an example of play, and yeah, so now we can move on. We've completed our first adventure twice, but we completed it successfully the second time. And yeah, so the next step is going to be to create our own character, and that is what I will be doing in the next video, using this particular set of rules from the Pathfinder beginner's box. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and let me know what your experiences were if you had the beginner box, and how you fared against the Skeleton King. Did you make it that far? Did the goblin, combination of the goblin and the trap, do you win? Just let me know in the comments below. And yeah, so again, hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you for the next video when I'm making a first level Pathfinder beginner box character. Until then, thanks for watching.